everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and today I have part one of a fun little series for you all. So recently I have concluded my spring little mini capsule wardrobe, basically, and it consisted of 18 pieces. I did not make all 18 pieces brand new. In fact, I didn't even make all 18 pieces. This jean jacket is a ready-to-wear jean jacket that I've had in my closet for over 20 years. I thought I got it my freshman year of college, but my sister corrected me because we have the same jean jacket and we bought it together. So I think I got it actually in high school. So anyway, it's been around for a while. And then I have a blazer in that capsule that I just rethrifted. But anyway, the whole idea behind this mini capsule was that I had put things together in modules. This is not my idea. I got this idea from Christy Russell, who is a style and fashion YouTuber, and I will leave a link to her channel down below, and also a link to the video where she talks about modules. So she's a stylist by trade and puts her clients' clothes, closets and stuff like that together with this module idea in mind. And what I love most about it is that you could definitely use it as a minimalist wardrobe very easily, just have a couple modules, you've got a very small closet and you're good to go. But it also lends itself well to, maybe if creatively you like to have a little bit larger closet, and you just aren't a minimalist, which is the camp I fall into. But it still keeps your closet cohesive so that you don't have just your clothes jam-packed into your closet and that you're not wearing half the things, or you have one top that you love but you don't really have any bottoms to go with it, or you've all been there. So that's really what sparked my interest and got me kind of on that bandwagon, and I thought it's a perfect way to sew, because especially as seamstresses, we spend all this time making these clothing items, and a lot of times, especially with social media, and this can be just for buying clothes as well, you get sucked into the newest patterns and you see people that look amazing in these outfits and, oh my gosh, I love that, that jumpsuit or that dress or whatever, and then you spend all this time making it up, and maybe you're not crazy about how the silhouette looks on you, or maybe the fabric that you've chosen, or you pick a fabric that you love and it's a fun and crazy print, but then this top you've made, all of a sudden you have nothing to wear with it, because you love prints. So all your skirts are also in prints, or all your pants are also in prints, or whatever, and then you don't have enough to round out your wardrobe. So the idea of the modules and making a capsule wardrobe is that a module consists of 6 pieces. It is one topper, such as like a jacket, a blazer, a cardigan, something along the sweatshirt of some sort, some kind of a layering piece. And then 2 bottoms, and that can be pants, skirts, shorts, whatever. And then 3 tops. So obviously this is very separates heavy, which I personally I love dressing in separates. But I also really enjoy a good jumpsuit or a good dress every now and again to kind of round things out. So I have taken the liberty of adding a 7th item onto my modules, because again, especially in the summer, I really enjoy wearing dresses. And actually, I have not in previous years been much of a skirt wearer. In summer, much more dresses. For that airflow, and then sometimes shorts. But I'm going to talk more about this in a second. I'm coming around to skirts. So anyway, that's the whole idea behind the modules, and I had so many questions and comments about loving the idea of sewing in modules. So I thought I would put together this series, which is how I go about planning a module. And then, one module, then you can add a second module, so then you have 12 pieces of clothing, and if everything goes with everything else, you have the possibility of 72 outfits, which is just amazing. So you very easily could live an entire season, depending on where you live and how many seasons you have in your year, but you could very easily live a season with just those 12 pieces of clothing, 14 if you add a couple of one pieces in there. And of course this excludes any workout wear, working in the yard wear, that kind of thing, or special occasion if you have like a black tie event or that kind of thing. I also really love this module idea though, if you do work outside of the home in, say, a very professional setting. If you're, I don't know, a lawyer, or I worked at the Federal Reserve Bank for quite a few years after graduating college. So situations like that where you have a certain dress code that you have to wear, well, I'm not going to wear those clothes in my everyday wear. So then you may want to have a set of modules for work, and then a set of modules for evenings and weekend. So that's just kind of the basis, the whole idea. So I've broken this down into kind of, it's a 4-part series. So today we're going to talk about silhouettes and planning outfits and that kind of thing. And then next Friday, I shouldn't give you dates though, because I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do these all boom, 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 like 4 videos in a row, or if I'm going to pop in some other videos in there with it. So anyway, part 2 of the series, we're going to talk about patterns and how I go about then picking my patterns. And then part 3 is going to be fabrics, picking my color story, and then, which also kind of goes into this planning phase today, but yeah, really ironing down that color story, and then also picking out my fabrics. And then part 4 is going to be, this is what it all looks like, and it's going to be my plans for my first module for my summer wardrobe. I realized this last module that I just finished up, I was calling it my spring and summer wardrobe, but I live in an area that is very much 4 seasons. And really the things that I wear in the spring, while there can be some crossover, and there will be, some of the things that were in that module are actually going to carry over into my summer module. I really need, the springs are chilly. Very, very, very varying here in Indiana. So you have to be able to layer, and you know, it can be real hot one day and then chillier the next day. So I definitely need a different wardrobe for summer. But again, there are some carryover from this module. So that will be part 4. And hopefully by the end of all those, you'll have a little bit, maybe some help and direction on how to plan out your own modules. All right, so let's get in before, I mean, I've already been talking for like 6 minutes. So, so let's get started on silhouettes. All right, what does that mean, silhouettes? This is the styles, the necklines that you like to wear, the fabrics that you like to wear. Are you someone that prefers things that are a little more tailored? Are you someone that prefers something slouchier? You know, do you tend to go a little bit more, I say bohemian. Bohemian's actually, when you talk about bohemian style, that is actually an area in Europe where it definitely has nods from that. But I'm talking more of like a 1960s, 70s, you know, the real flowing fabrics, kaftan dresses, real loose tops, you know. Do you go more for that? Are you someone that never wears pants and shorts? You just don't like that look on you? Do you like more dresses and skirts? Do you prefer fitted skirts or fuller skirts? You know, this is all talking about silhouettes. And maybe you're someone that you don't know. You don't know what you prefer. And I was kind of in that boat a little bit. So we're going to talk a little bit about picking out silhouettes, because this, in my opinion, is kind of the groundwork that is laid for planning out, number one, your wardrobe, but also your module. Now, you will have heard me talk quite a fair amount about body types. I'm going to say this again, and I've said it many times before. While I feel that following rules for your body types can be beneficial, it can help you find maybe some silhouettes you wouldn't have otherwise explored, I hands down think that you should wear what makes you feel beautiful, what makes you feel confident, because that is what makes you beautiful in everyone else's eyes. If you're feeling confident and beautiful on the inside, that is projected out, and that is what makes you stylish, put together, beautiful, I mean, all of that, which is kind of the thing we're all going for, right? Just to be the best version of ourselves, because we're all, without sounding too cheesy and too hippy-dippy, we are all beautiful, and all body types, all skin colors, all hair types. Everything should be celebrated, because we are individually made, and our individuality is what makes us beautiful and unique. And I definitely think that that is what you're going for when you're creating your own personal style. So that being said, I will link down below some resources. There's a gal that talks about Kibbe's 11 body types, I believe, which goes beyond, you know, are you a rectangle, a triangle, inverted, whatever. It goes kind of beyond that, more into, you know, what are the lines on your face? Are you more angular in your bone structure? Are you softer in your bone structure? Or, you know, hair color, do you have coarse hair? Do you have smooth hair? Do you have curly hair? You know, it goes into a lot more than just your standard body shape. But that being said, I definitely think it's hard for everyone to fall even into the 11 categories. So I'm going to suggest, number one, go into your closet, try on some things that you think look nice on you. Now, I will say there are definitely outfits that I thought, you know, I feel good in this. I feel like this is a really well put together outfit. And then I'll see a picture of myself in it and think, whoa, you know, whatever. My boobs look gigantic in that, you know, which is something I'm always trying to diminish. I feel like I can very easily look very top heavy. But then there's also things that I think, oh, I probably shouldn't wear that. That's going to make my bust look too large or whatever. And then I have it on and I love the silhouette. So one of the things that I've noticed that's really helped me with that is not just looking at yourself in a mirror, but take pictures. And we all have smartphones now. It's so easy to stand in front of your mirror. Also, if you don't have a full-size mirror somewhere in your home, go get one. You can buy them for $10 at anywhere, Walmart, Target, wherever. I have a really nice big one from IKEA. It is, I'm never going to be able to pronounce it correctly. It's like NISSEDAL, I think. Something like that. I'm sure if you start to type it in, it'll come up. But it's a very large mirror. Everyone in my family has one in their room. My husband and I have one in our room. Each kid has one in their room. And then I've got one in my sewing room. And they are just nice and wide. They're $49, $50. So if you have access to an IKEA, I highly recommend. It's just a great mirror. But I really see a lot of benefit in just being able to see your entire self for proportion, if for nothing else. Just to be able to see, does this hem look proportion? Does the sleeve length look proportion with everything else? Because sometimes things, you know, in my head, I think, oh, that wouldn't work. And then I try it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really actually like that. And I'll talk about more examples about that in a second. But take pictures. You know, do 2 weeks. Do 2 weeks and just, you don't have to show the pictures to anyone. Just take 2 weeks worth of pictures in something that you're comfortable in, that you think that you look nice in, maybe some of your favorite outfits, and then go back and dissect. You know, why do I like that top? Is it because it's a V-neck and I like having a little bit more skin on show because it breaks things up? Or is it because it's a crew neck and maybe I just like the way it frames my face a little bit better? It could be 100 things. You know, I like the way the boxy top, you know, if you're a pear shape, for instance, if you're a lot smaller on top than bottom, maybe you like a boxier top on top because then it helps proportion your upper body to your lower body. Or maybe you prefer to highlight the fact that you have a small upper body and, you know, go that way. You know, you don't have to, if you're trying to balance a figure, you can do two things. You can add to the part that's smaller, or you can kind of camouflage or take away from the part that's bigger. So, for instance, with my my body shape, I am, and people have pointed out, I am petite. I'm only 5'2", but I'm not of small bone structure. I'm just kind of short and stubby, but which is I'm absolutely fine with. But I have, because my bust is large, I look like an inverted triangle. Not severely so, but I am very straight through the hips, and my shoulders are wider than my hips. But again, I'm not vastly so. You know, I'm not necessarily built like a swimmer, for instance. And you can be an inverted triangle and just have broad shoulders and not a large bust. My bust just contributes to the fact that my upper body looks wide. So I could diminish that. So I could wear a wrap blouse. Wrap styles are fantastic on my figure. Number one, I have a large bust, and so as long as they're not too gapey, because that can get away from you a little bit. And I've shown before my little clear snaps that I like to put into wrap blouses that just make me feel very, very secure. But I love that look. It just breaks things up a little bit. I don't look quite as big on top. I've talked before as well that I like to have my sleeves either hitting somewhere along my forearm. I don't necessarily like long sleeves, but either right at my elbow or, you know, mid-arm, like a 3/4 length. Or if I do have a short sleeve, I like it to be kind of angled at the top. I don't do cap sleeves because that adds, you know, too much width. But I also don't like them when they hit my mid-upper arm because it cuts just right across my chest and just makes me look wide. So that's one way that I can do that. I can try and diminish my upper body to make it look smaller. The other thing I can do is try and widen my lower body to then just help proportion things out. So full skirts are great, and things with a lot of pocketing detail, especially like on my hips and that kind of thing. Prints, bright colors, and conversely, wearing darker colors and smoother fabrics on my upper body also helps diminish. So yeah, so there you can balance both those ways. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. So yes, going into your closet, taking pictures. I do have the advantage that all of my outfits, I take pictures of almost everything, which, as narcissistic as that seems sometimes, it is a nice little catalog to look back on and say, you know what, I do not like the way that outfit looks. You know, I had a t-shirt that I had on in one of my videos, and I looked back and I'm like, I do not like that style of t-shirt on me. And it was a v-neck, which is something that I wear a lot, but the way the sleeves sit, I just don't like it. I thought I did, but looking at it in a camera, I'm not crazy about that. So going forward, I will make my t-shirts differently. I think I like a more fitted t-shirt on my body. If I have something that's a little too baggy, well, I love that look on so many people. I think that it just, I almost need a little bit in a t-shirt and a knit, a little more fitted in order for my bust and everything else. So that is the whole detective part of this. Another thing you can do is go on to Pinterest. Now, if you do want to explore, you know, your body type, again, I will have popped links down below to the gal that talks about the Kibbe body types. You can go online and take the test to determine what you are. I'm a soft classic for reference, so I'm a little more symmetrical, but my features are real soft. I don't have anything angular. You know, my nose is rounded. I have rounded cheekbones, so my face is a little more rounded. Although my chin does come to a point a little bit, but I've got big eyes and lips. You know, I've got softer features. I have fleshier arms and legs. It all's part, you know, larger bust, that kind of thing. But that lends itself really well to classic tailored type styles. You know, going back to taking pictures, I love blazers. I love that look on so many people, and I'm so drawn to that. But I've always been afraid, and I've tried to play around with fit. Fit obviously plays a big role into that, but not looking like a football player, because that, you know, tailored, it can definitely look that way. But I have that refashioned blazer that is a double-breasted blazer, which in all the books say no for a large bust, never do double-breasted. But I never wear my jackets buttoned up. So I feel like that is kind of null and void because I don't wear things buttoned up, so it's not creating, you know, if I was wearing it buttoned up, maybe I shouldn't do the double-breasted. But I love that jacket on me. I think it just makes everything look so polished and put together, and I loved the outfits that I wore for Me Made May when I threw that blazer on. I just felt like it upped everything a notch, and I felt very confident and just good in it. So, yeah, so definite things there. But again, Pinterest. If you discover that you're a theatrical romantic, I think is one of them, you can go on and search those terms and it'll bring up celebrities. A lot of times that have that body style that's the same as yours. And then you can look for muses. You know, follow that person on Pinterest, see what their outfits are, because those people have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for stylists. So if you go through and think, oh, I love that dress on her, or I love that style jumpsuit, or that outfit that she has, and that will give you a really good idea of maybe some things to try. Now, as a seamstress, it's not as easy as just, you know, you spend a lot of time making things. So I highly recommend go shopping, go into, you know, Nordstrom's, for instance, and don't just go to like Old Navy, cheap places to try things on. Go to the high-end stuff. So try on things that are the beautiful fabrics, that kind of thing. Stuff that, you know, maybe you would never pay $700 for a blazer, but go try one on. Go see what cuts you like, because you can recreate a $700 blazer at home pretty easily. Now, you get into the couture stuff where you're talking, you know, thousands of dollars. That's going to be something a little more special, someone that specializes in that kind of tailoring and that kind of thing. But as your intermediate, adventurous seamstress, you can recreate a $700 blazer very easily at home for under $100. And that's including all your interfacings. I just purchased fabric for my mother and the interfacing package from Closet Case to make a Jessica blazer for my mother. And her picture was it's a $700 or $800 blazer from, I can't even remember now off the top of my head. But we're easily going to be able to recreate that, and it's going to look just as good insides and outs, maybe a little better than the $800 blazer that she would have purchased. And I've already made the muslin for her, and so the fit is going to be spot on. So go try things on. See, you may be surprised by what silhouettes you like. Now you may need to, if you're a hard body type to fit, you may want to take that into account and think, okay, I'll never be able, because I'm this way, I could never try on a blazer at a store and have it fit and look good. I shouldn't say that. It would be tight in order for it to fit properly here, but then also across my bust. So some of those things, you know, if you want to try a blazer, try a blazer. You know, make a muslin, you know, do your normal fit adjustments. And, you know, it's just fabric, and you can find inexpensive things. You know, it is a little painful when you spend a lot of time and you just do not like the finished result, but sometimes it's all a learning process, and that's how I go about with my sewing. Everything is a learning process. So don't be scared to try things out, try different styles out. If it doesn't work, you know, donate it, finish it up and donate it. Give it to a friend, give it to a family member. If you have enough fabric, you could repurpose it, you know, cut it back up. You know, if it's unsalvageable. I'm also a big proponent in to just cut your losses when it's time. When you've, you know, some tweaks, it's fine. But if you're having to completely, like the skirt that I've just had the whole rigmarole with, that was just, it just wasn't meant to be. The fabric with the pattern, I just had too many fitting issues that were, I think, caused by my body. Sometimes it's best just to cut your losses and repurpose the fabric for something else. So I'm definitely a proponent of that. But yes, that is my tip for finding silhouettes. Also think about balance. So if you're making, let's say you've decided, I really like these skinny 7/8 pant, like a nice trouser. I want to put these in my module. And maybe you already have them in your closet. It's not even something you're going to make. Okay, blousier tops, you know, are great with a skinny pant. Or maybe you do like a real fitted top with a fitted pant. You know, just think about that though, about proportion. If you're making a wide leg culotte, for instance, you may not want a oversized, you know, gypsy style blouse to go with it. You know, that may be too much volume. Or maybe you do. Maybe you are very slight of build and you like to add volume to your body in that way, and that can look fantastic. And a lot of people, oversized bottoms and tops can look fantastic. So, but think about that as you're looking at silhouettes. And again, follow Pinterest, follow those fashion people. And there's so many bloggers now that are all body shapes and sizes. You know, do some research, see if you can find a blogger that has a similar body shape to you, you know, similar proportions. Doesn't have to be just right, and see what looks good on them and copy. I mean, that's, you know, fashion is all imitation. So I give you free reign to do that, to copy. And copy, you know, you don't have to just stop at, oh, I love that button-down shirt with that style of pant that she has. Maybe you think, but I really like it because she has that pearl necklace on with it, or I love those oversized earrings she has with that. Copy the whole darn thing, even down to the shoes. There's so many ways that you can find dupes for things as well, things that are less expensive. Even if you're looking at someone that has a gorgeous pair of Gucci flats on, you can find, you know, if it's popular enough, the lower ends will be making those as well. So that is my first assignment for you guys, is just to get online. If you are interested in the body style, body types, and that kind of thing, I do have the links below, and you can definitely go and start researching and figuring out, you know, learning a little bit more about your body. But again, go into your closet, take pictures of yourself, and yeah, what makes you feel confident? What makes you feel beautiful? Because that is where we're gonna go with this. So that is assignment number 1, just to find some silhouettes. You know, do you need some shorts? Do you need some full skirts? Do you need, do you like real loose V-necks? Or do you like more fitted knit tops? Whatever you're comfortable in. So that's assignment number 1. And next time we're going to talk about patterns, how then to translate those silhouettes into actual patterns and to kind of weed things down a little bit. And then again, we'll talk about fabric and colors, and then end this with a 7-piece plan for my first summer module. All right, that's all I've got for today, guys. I will see you next time. Leave any comments you have below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss anything, and I'll talk to you soon.